First of all, welcome to the channel and thank you for stopping by. This is my long-term review of the MSR Xplorer pants. And by long-term, I mean over 2 years and over 30,000 miles, probably closer to 35,000 miles, with these pants as my primary pants for every adventure I've gone on. I have worn these to the Florida Keys, I've worn these to South Dakota, I've worn these in Canada, all up and down the East Coast. You can see them in my videos and in Patrick over at Motor Ramblings videos. And I'm gonna say right here, too long, didn't watch, you can bail out now. These are my favorite riding pants, period. While there are some features lacking, honestly, with all of the pants I've ever owned, these have every feature I need to have and are incredibly comfortable, durable. And by durable, I mean, if you look on my channel, you will see me go down in rocks, sand, mud, gravel, you name it. These pants right here have skidded across it or slammed into it. And I still think they look 80% like new. We are not seeing any kind of degraded area from landing and sliding. There are no nicks or cuts anywhere despite landing on rocks and occasionally my kickstand, something like that. They just hold up, and they are indeed, in my opinion, very close to as good as new. Now, why I own these pants is when I purchased my KLIM jacket 5+ years ago, it was expensive. It was terribly expensive, but my thought was, I have to protect my core, I have to protect my back, my shoulders, etc. And I spent as much as I could afford on the most durable jacket. And in my opinion, that jacket is a superior build to all of the other lower price jackets I've either owned or tried from friends. So I just put that money out and I cried like a child. And I didn't feel badly about it for too long because, again, confident in the product. That said, when I looked at the KLIM pants, I was wearing Arc, which was the Rocky Mountain brand before these. And I was thinking, do I make that jump and do I get myself a premium pair of pants? And I couldn't really see a significant difference, with one exception we'll get to later. They were comparable. I'm not saying they're 100% the quality of an $800 pair of pants, but for $350, these were incredibly comparable. And so I went with them again. I loved the Arcs. They were great, with one caveat. I knew that I'd be getting into these and they'd have the same caveat. But what I found is these are just more comfortable. I liked my Arcs. I wore them for 3.5 years. And to this day, I still own them and they're in great shape after all the miles I put on them. However, you'll notice these are black. And black is not an ideal color for adventure gear. It absorbs a lot of heat. However, my Arcs were the light gray, which I got because number one, I like light gray, and number two, I'm like, well, they'll reflect a little bit of the heat off, right, from the sun. And I think they did, because when I bought these, I noticed how much warmer they were. And here's the caveat to buying MSR pants. Very limited ventilation. You can open up the ventilation here, you can open up the ventilation there, and I swear to goodness, it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. If I am sitting on my bike with these vents as open as they go and the back vents as open as they go, I don't notice any ventilation whatsoever. MSR, Rocky Mountain ATV, you guys gotta really improve that someday, because this is 2 models in a row where ventilation does not exist, in my humble opinion. That said, they don't get too hot. Again, I have ridden to the Florida Keys over 100 degrees. I have ridden the South Dakota BDR, the Mabder, Northeast BDR, Smoky Mountain 500, what's that thing in South Carolina? The Scar. Hot, hot, hot in the summer for all of these rides, and I have survived. But if you do go with them, do understand that you're going to save $300, but you're giving up any semblance of ventilation. Now, when the ventilation does help is I have noticed when I would ride these with my dual sport and I was standing up on a bike with 0 fairings, then yes, I did notice ventilation. But I don't think with any kind of wind protection on any adventure bike, you're ever gonna notice any. I've tried a V-Strom, I've tried a Tenere, I've tried my KTM, another KTM, my other KTM, the 390. Any kind of fairing, and these pants are not gonna get ventilation. These are there for show, maybe for some evaporation, but Well, let's talk about what's really good about them though. And that is, there is a significant amount of durable material added to these. I've gone down on my knees skidding, and I've gone down on my knees to work on my bike. And I hope it shows up on camera. You can't tell. If any part of these look brand new, it's that. And since on adventure bikes, we do go ahead and grab the bike with our knees, they've got this nice pleather material. Still looks like new, works great. Every bike I've ever gripped, great grip, no wear whatsoever. There is some fading going on, but that's not bad. We have a lot of space here. You can undo the buttons, unzip these. They're very easy to get above and over every single pair of boots. I'm able to get these just barely over my Alpenstars Tech 7s, which I think are some of the widest boots I've ever seen, and they work fine. So I think no matter what kind of boot you're wearing, they don't just work with adventure boots, they work with MX boots, which always have a significant amount of padding at the top. So I think if you're looking for a pair of pants that will go with just about anything, these are probably them. Add in how little you pay for these compared to the bigger names, and I think this is MSR's best product. I've tried their jackets and they also have little to no ventilation, and that's just a no-go on a jacket. But on these, you can absolutely get away with the very minor ventilation. All right, that's my couple of years experience, my tens of thousands of miles. If I misplace these, I will buy another pair. I am 100% satisfied. And Rocky Mountain, if you had better ventilation, I will run to my computer and order your pants immediately. All right, if you stuck around, I appreciate it. Take care.